So continuing on, rummaging through my old camera gear I find in my cupboards, I dug out my trusty old Olympus mju-II, otherwise known as the Stylus Epic in North America. Back in the day, this used to be my go-to little compact point-and-shoot film camera that I used to take with me mainly on camera jobs where I was a television camera operator, and I'd get some sort of behind-the-scenes shots or shots of my friends, and I used to put it in this little low-pro pouch and put it on my hip, which was always a good look, and it was fantastic. You didn't even know it was there. You could whip it out, open it up, and take the shots. So I thought I'd run a roll of film through it and see if it is still as good as I remembered. Firstly, a little bit about the camera, which shouldn't take long. It's a 35mm film camera released by Olympus back in 1997. It was called the Olympus mju-II here. I don't know if that's actually how you pronounce it, but it's mju-II. But it was actually known as the Stylus Epic in North America. Apparently 3.8 million examples of this camera were sold, and it was available in black, which I have, and a silver, which I think was actually more of a champagne colour than silver, if I remember correctly. It's obviously tiny and compact and light, which was one of its main selling features and the reason that I picked it up. It has a splash-proof and weatherproof body with a clamshell style design. It's also got a fast f2.8 lens with a fixed focal length of 35mm, with the only control features being flash on or off and a self timer. And that was pretty much it, which I actually think is kind of a good thing with all the myriad of features you get on cameras these days. I don't know about you, but whenever I pick up a new digital camera these days or get to play with a new digital camera, I always find it slightly daunting with the amount of menu options that you have now. Having essentially two little rubber buttons and a film rewind slot that you put a biro in, gone are those days, I find quite refreshing. After doing a bit of Googling and research on the camera, I also found out that apparently this little camera is becoming a modern classic, and you can get, well, it may cost you up to US $400 to $500 to find a good example on eBay these days. I think it's actually worth more now than what I paid for it, or at least equal. So I thought I'd really push the boat out, and I also found an old roll of film in the cupboard, and that film was probably, I reckon, at least 20 years old as well. It was an old roll of Fujifilm 400 Superior, and I thought I'd give that a go running it through this. So I ran that old roll of film through the camera, sent it away and got it processed and scanned it back to me, but however, the results, it didn't really give me that sort of unique and arty look that I optimistically thought it might. Here's a few of the choice images I got back. It was almost a complete waste of time, but I did decide to use this image as the background on my YouTube channel banner, so not a complete waste of time. Not to be deterred, because it was a bit of an unfair test for the camera, I went away and got a current roll of Kodak Gold 200 to give the camera a fair crack. And as you can probably hear and see, the weather hasn't got any better. I was kind of hoping that the weather might get a bit of a weather window. I can get out for some more photos, but if anything, the weather's got worse. So I have put the rain gear on, and we're going to get out and use up this rest of this film in the wee Olympus mju. So once I shot that film, I sent it away and was eagerly awaiting the results for them to scan and send it back to me. A little bit like Christmas morning, which I guess is part of the nostalgia of film. None of this instant gratification going on that you get with digital these days. My overall thoughts of the shots that I got back was a resounding meh. I know the weather wasn't exactly ideal and my film shooting skills were probably 20 something years out of practice, but it was still slightly underwhelming. Now I know obviously this is mainly due to my obvious lack of skill, however there's a couple of shots in there which I didn't mind, such as this one of the lady taking a cell phone shot on the intersection here. I also quite like this one of the tree with the autumn colours in behind it. And probably the shot that reminded me most of film was this one here of the church with its soft pastel colours. I also took another cracking selfie where I looked like a deer caught in the headlights. And like I alluded to in a previous video where I shot a roll of film through in one of my old Canon AS1 compact film cameras, I find the feedback loop probably, for me personally, a little bit too slow. By the time you shoot the film, send it away, it's usually around, for me personally here, is about a 7-day or 7 to 10 day turnaround. So the feedback loop to what you shot and how you shot it and then getting the results back to evaluate it, just a little bit too slow for me. And also the cost again for shooting film down here in New Zealand. In terms of cost for including buying the roll of film, sending it away for processing and scanning, it was about $60. So that was, for this roll of 24 Kodak Gold, that was almost $2.50 New Zealand a shot. And also again, you lose a little bit of the creative control because I don't know what settings they're using when I send that film away to be developed and scanned. I did, however, still enjoy getting out there and shooting with the wee mju-II, and I'm really pleased to see that it still works pretty well, although I think the focus, I don't know if it was me or the camera, missed focus in a couple of situations because you really only have a little, basically little light comes on in the viewfinder when it says it's in focus type thing. So yeah, I enjoyed it, stoked that the camera still works and it'll stay in my cupboard and hopefully appreciate, and one day I'll sell it and buy something expensive, maybe a house or a flash car. I'll leave a link to all the photos that I took with this camera over on my website, and as always, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.